Let's look at view B8, which will show us this part of the house. Here it shows the foundation wall. You can see the L bar is placed so that the L is tucked underneath one of the pieces of rebar in the footing. Often L-bar rebar is put into footings just after the concrete has been poured, and then they're straightened. The notes say that the footing size and the rebar will be determined by an engineer. Elsewhere in this plan set there is a table that shows several different scenarios, how closely spaced those pieces of rebar need to be. The size number 4 rebar is shown here. There are also special considerations around openings, which in other words are windows and doors in a foundation wall. Let's jump back to the section view. This plan says that this wall is 8 foot 10 inches, or in other words close enough to be regarded as a 9-foot foundation wall. Many residential homes have walls that are 8 feet tall. By the time you add the concrete floor here that's 4 inches thick, you end up with a ceiling height that is less than 8 feet. So this taller wall gives us more comfortable ceiling heights in the basement. If we jump back to our chart, it says for a wall with a maximum height of 9 feet, this is a concrete foundation wall, and an 8-inch thickness, we need to use number 4 size rebar, and we need to space it 16 inches on center vertically, and we need to have at least 7 horizontal pieces of rebar spaced equally in the wall. I've opened up my assembly here to continue on, and it's actually aiming the wrong direction. If this ever happens to you, go up here to your view options and press the isometric button and it will flip it around to its home position. Let's add some rebar now. I'll go to Insert Components, and I'd like to add 2 copies of this L-bar rebar group 1. I'll put 1 copy out here, and I'll run back there and select it again, insert another copy of it back here, and while we're at it, let's get one more. It's this L-bar rebar group 2. And that's going to go right here in this footing. Alright, click Mate. Because these sticks of rebar are round, hold your mouse over the cylindrical part of the rebar here until you see the center axis pop up, and click the axis. We want to constrain that to the top of the footing, and then I'll click the distance icon. We want to type 5.5, and then you've got the option here to flip this, negative or positive. We want to click it so that it goes down. Now right now it doesn't look like it's in the right place, so it's just too far away from the footing. We'll fix that next. Go ahead and hit the check mark. This vertical piece of rebar here, hold your mouse over it until the center axis appears. Click on that and select the side of the footing over here, and We're going to set this to be 14 inches from the side of the footing. So click distance, 14. And I pressed enter there. Click the check mark. Now we're getting closer. It's off behind the footing. Our mate command is still waiting for another mate. Let's zoom in until you can see. Okay, hold your mouse until the center axis appears. Click the center axis. So we've got the center axis again. Let's line it up with the front of the footing here. And drop this, set the distance of this to 10 inches from the front. Press enter and press the check mark. Now it looks like I must have made a mistake there. If yours looks like mine and your rebar is 5.5 inches above the footing instead of down in, we can go back and edit that. I'll jump back here to isometric. To go back in and edit, first we need to exit out of the mate command. Come over here to the folder called mates. Looks like it's going to be this mate right here that we need to fix. You can see when I hover over this, it highlights the top of the footing, and you can see that the center line, let's zoom in on that. There we go. When I highlight this, you can see the center line is highlighted in orange and the top of the footing is highlighted. If I right click on it and choose flip dimension, then it takes my mate, it reverses it. Okay, this rebar is a little off center, but we're going to leave it that way. Let's move back to this footing back here. I'll walk you through this again. So let's go mate. This is actually going to be a little bit different than the one we just did, but we'll start the same. Zoom in, hover, wait for the center line to appear, click it, go to the top of the footing, click the distance, and enter 5.5. And this time, since it's kind of off to the side, I'm just going to let it be 5.5, and it looks like it moved down, so it probably moved the right direction. Okay, next let's line this. There we go. We'll zoom in more. Hold the mouse, click when you see the center line. We're going to line that up with the side of the footing over here. But this time I'd like you to make it a little bit different. Click your distance and set it to 12 inches this time. We want these to be in a slightly different position. Okay, that's looking good so far. And then one more mate. Our mate command is still running here. Let's zoom in, select the center line again, and the front, and set this distance to, footing's 20 inches wide, so let's set it to 10. Now one thing I need to double check is, let's look from the side here. I'll go up here to my view options. I'll click the side of the cube here, and just make sure that the rebar is lined up straight. If it looks a little bit crooked, you'll see the other rebar sticks to the side of it. If that happens, you would just need to add one more constraint to this side of the rebar, center line to the front of the footing, and set it at 10 inches also, and that'll straighten out this line of rebar. My rebar is looking straight so far, so I don't need to do that. Okay, let's get this. This has got a gap here because there's going to be a doorway. into this area here. This will be like a storage area under the front porch. Let's finish the make command from the previous operation by clicking the check mark and then start a new make command for this center line. We'll start with that. Top of the footing. Set your distance to 5.5. And I kept my eye on it. This time it moved up, so I'm going to click this, and now it moves down. Yeah, that's a better way, is just keep one eye open for what it does. It doesn't move the right direction when you are adjusting your distance. We'll go with that for our first mate. The mate command is still active. Let's go here to the longer part of the rebar, wait for the center axis to appear, select it, click the side of the footing, and this one, go with yet another distance. Please set this one to 10 inches. Okay, 10 inches from the side to there, and then let's make sure it's lined up to the front of the footing, centered. Zoom in, select the axis, front of the footing, distance 10 inches. Check mark. Go to the side view, double check and make sure that looks perfectly straight. I don't see, yep, the rebar is straight behind. So I can be done with my make command. And let's go back to isometric view. I'll go ahead and click save.